This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Long Run live stream and podcast brought to you by the 40 Runs running community and our sponsors, Skechers. Go to skechers.co.uk for all your good deals on gear and trainers. I'm Ian Wilson. Been a while, but I'm back. How you doing, everybody? Lovely to see you. Tonight we're going to be talking about the benefits of joining a running club. Well, I'm not really joining a running club, joining our running club. That's the main chief benefits that we're going to be looking at today. And to help us do that, we have the dream team from the 40 Runs Staffordshire Satellite Group, Lloyd Fox and Tony Collier. Welcome, guys. Lovely to have you along. Al's here too.
Hi.
Chris is in.
Evening all.
Evening all.
Should be a cracking hour. Looking forward to it.
Should be. I think we're going to absolutely destroy these two.
Oh dear.
Listen, your YouTube channel, mate, is turning into a thing where you just sort of like destroy people.
I know. Get out of that
Whether it's Hayden, whether it's people doing skipping, whether it's poor old Ben doing his 10Ks and his half marathons, you're breaking and destroying people. And I can't help thinking, it's telling them.
No, they should be getting their own back, really, shouldn't they? Don't worry, they will be getting their own back because I've got to do something in August that I'm really not looking forward to. I'm not saying any more than that, but I'm really not looking forward to it. All I'd say is Speed Goat's sitting there rubbing his hands like this. He's loving life at the moment, Speed Goat. He's got something lined up for me that I'm really not looking forward to. There's two things in this world I hate.
Bikes.
There's quite a few. Biking and this thing that I'm going to do. That's it.
And the pub.
Leaving it there. Leaving everyone in suspense.
Oh. So you could be on your wheels, mate, are you?
No comment, Your Honour. But all I would say is I'm coming. Al, I've not told you because I've only sorted it out today, but I'm coming to the Extreme Park Run as well. So that's going to be good. You got Lloyd, Tony? You coming to that one?
We are indeed, yeah.
So I'll see you there. Wilco, you coming to that?
No, unfortunately, I am indisposed and I will be at work because weekends just don't. I know it's just fun in February. We've all got to earn a crust, mate. We'd love to do this full time. We'd love to entertain you all the time and get paid heaps of cash. Perhaps the Saudis will buy us.
Quite possibly. They're buying everything else. We're for sale. It's a couple of million quid each.
Yeah. We're not proud. We'll take anybody's money. We ain't bothered.
We'll sell that. Now, Wilco, because Tobe's not here, I've got to do a bit of admin on the thing. So if you're listening to this live, watching this live, I always get this two wrong around. You need to go into the comment section and you need to chip in with comments, questions, whatever you want, really. We don't really care. We don't check any of it. If you listen to Bite Size on a Monday, you'll know that. But load hour. If you've got any questions for us, whatever it is, we're happy to help out. We've had quite a few emails. I get quite a lot of messages about people worried about marathon training at the moment and some shoes about marathon training. Whatever you've got on your mind, stick it in there, okay? And we'll come on to that as well. If you're listening to this as a podcast, we're recording this live. If you haven't worked that out, but thank you very much for taking us on your run with you. We've got to give a shout out to Start Fitness. Use the code 40 Runs to get 10% off there. You're welcome. Don't forget, we're doing the shakeout run in Newcastle at midday on the Saturday before. If you're thinking about park run, we recommend now that you volunteer and then come along to the shakeout run. And also, don't forget the Berlin shakeout run's being confirmed on Saturday at 11 o'clock. Come and meet at the Skechers store in Berlin, and we're going to go for a gentle trot around the park. Now, that's at 11 o'clock, so it's plenty of time to get there, get yourself sorted out, and come along for a gentle little stroll around Berlin.
Gosh.
Yeah, and there's other things coming. Stand by. There's loads of things coming, in fact. But, I think they're the two ththings I can say without getting into trouble.
Okay. So that's all right then. So you've used them all up now then. Anything else?
Anything else? I think I'm off. Yeah, I think I will get torn a new one by admin. Someone was asking about my skipping. Tony, did you see my skipping? Yes, because Hayden doesn't believe I did 3 minutes. Have you seen the video?
Yeah,
it didn't look like 3 minutes.
What do you mean? It was a bit quick.
It was.
You can't have more than 3 minutes or 2 minutes on a reel, I don't think, or 60 seconds on a reel. So that's why we sped it up. Otherwise, it would have been, that's probably why it didn't look
You'd have
necessary.
broke TikTok, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think. But other than that, I think I've done very well to learn to do that in a week, didn't I?
Excellent.
We even put some skipping in our session on Tuesday, and Mick was our skipping champion.
Really? Well, that's a good shout, Wilco. We could do that on a Tuesday, get everyone to skip. What do you think?
That's funny. Well, yeah, I mean, it's the ideal place. Hopefully it won't rain. We've got a couple of wet Tuesdays, haven't we?
Have you done any skipping?
Me? No, it's not really conducive to life in a first floor flat, skipping.
Let up hanging yourself.
We could progress to
Well,
double.
even, I could quite possibly go through the floorboards. So that'd be entertaining, it'd be great content. Not so good for my bank balance and my relationship with my neighbours.
What about you, Al?
No.
No, my skipping rope's been 80 miles away, so we've been separated by distance, I'm afraid.
Oh. Is there any recommendations, Al, that you can make from if you've got PT hat on in terms of skipping tips?
Well, the irony is you don't actually need the skipping rope.
Oh.
Has no one ever told you that? You get the same benefits from just literally going through the same physical motions, but without all the faff of having to not trip up the rope.
I could do 5 minutes now.
This is a massive game changer, isn't it?
This is huge.
No one asked me before.
So basically, Hayden,
you don't actually need a skipping rope to take part in the skipping challenge.
So Hayden has sent us down the river with a skipping rope. We don't need a skipping rope. This is a game changer.
And
so
what you do is you call it plyometrics, and you sound really posh as well. So
yeah.
Right, there we go, Wilco. So Wilco, you've got to jump up. Well, maybe do it downstairs. Jump up and down for 2 minutes.
Right. Okay. Shall I do it now? No, I won't do it now.
No, don't do that. But if you've got absolutely no idea what we're talking about, Hayden is doing skipping every day with his little hobbit legs for 2 minutes every day until the New York City Marathon. Right. I might even make him do it on the morning before we actually do the marathon. And because he said that this is going to benefit us all, and he's right, because as Al said, it is right. But if you are new to skipping, I would strongly recommend you follow FORDY_runs on Instagram and look at my amazing job that I did this week and prove to Hayden that you can learn to skip in a week, even though he says that the video's fake.
I've got a question for Al with his coaching hat on. Al, so should we be, regarding skipping, should we just be doing the jumping and then graduating towards the introduction of the rope?
If you want to, any good exercise should have some progression in it. So yeah, from that point of view, if you're feeling confident enough, you can build up to grabbing the rope and getting the full body workout. But and there are also I'm not sure what their technical terms are, but you can get skipping ropes without the rope. So you just have weighted, but you have the grips that are weighted. So you get the same workout on your arms, but without all that ropey stuff getting tangled in your head.
Maybe that's what Hayden's got, because they don't.
The options are limitless, but yeah. Progress to a rope.
I could do this on a Wednesday morning on St Margaret's Station when I'm waiting for the train, couldn't I? This is an absolute game changer that I don't need a rope.
I'm waiting for someone to progress to double Dutch.
Oh, now this is now we're up in our skipping game here.
It's like up here now. We're talking.
Lloyd, we don't want to run before we can walk, mate.
No, that's pretty hardcore. So you need to join the trend, by the way, and then tag Long Run Show on Instagram and tag out FORDY_runs, and we will share your skipping adventures to the world. But you all need to keep going. You've only got, I think, how long we got to New York City Marathon? It's got to be about 16 weeks now, and it's something like that. I know. Listen to this. I was doing a plan for someone today. He's got a race in end of November, and his plan starts next week. God, it's frightening, isn't it?
Where's it gone, mate?
It's mad. It's absolutely mad how quick this year's gone. It is. I'm doing a load of stuff. Be careful, Wilco. Around 2024, which I'm not allowed to talk about. But my inbox, I sat back and looked at my inbox today, and 10 of the emails were about 2024. It's mad, isn't it?
Even if you look at sort of like, I'm already thinking, September, all these races have got Great North France. It is still 6 weeks away. It seems like it's at the end of next week. Everything just pushes on, doesn't it? And it's just not stopping.
Yeah, it's not stopping. But yeah. So that's it. I've got to give a shout out to Ben, who done his half marathon PB last week. We talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm recording with him after this, a pre-recorded one, because I wanted to dive into that with him on how he basically went from being non-hero to hero, and find out what his journey was from basically plateauing in his running, which I think he's happy to say, to achieving, that half marathon PB, which he didn't tell anyone he was doing that race, and he went along and he smashed the living daylights out of it. So we're going to record that after this, and that should come out because I'm off on holiday for a couple of weeks, so we'll probably put that out while I'm away. I'm guessing
We'll fit it in somewhere.
Yeah, we'll fit that in somewhere, but that'll be a good one. So make sure you listen out for that. If you're doing maybe you're doing the Great North Run, or you're doing one of the other big half marathons, Royal Parks is the other one, which I'm doing at the end of the year, then that's probably worth a good listen, actually. What is Lloyd, Tony, what you got left events this year?
Oh, loads.
We've got October, we've got Cardiff half, Manchester half, and Valencia half.
Hardcore.
And Solihull half in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So,
I think that's it, actually.
Yeah, it's quite a lot going on, isn't it? What have you got coming up? Obviously, Chicago.
Got Chicago. Got let me just have a look. Got my app here. Got the big half, Stream Park Run, Great North. I'm going to Berlin as a supporter.
Shake out run for you as well, Al.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of up to about May in 2024 so far in terms of races.
I've got stuff in June and July next year.
Yeah. We'll have Heart 24, so that's booked in. That takes us into June. Yeah.
Barcelona.
Oh yeah, Barcelona.
Mad, isn't it? It is mad though. When you think about it, you're like, your year's gone already, and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah.
This is the problem though. But we'll come on to this. But this is a great thing about, being part of like a club, community, whatever you call it, right? Is that FOMO? Is that somebody says something, whether it's in like the WhatsApp group that, the guys at Hartford, just as an example, someone will go, who's doing St Albans? Oh, I didn't know about St Albans.
Everyone's on it, aren't they?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, that's lit up, the chat's lit up. Yep, I'm in. And that's the great thing about
we booked Manchester, put it out in the group, and we've now got 3 of our group doing Manchester as their first half, because they're like, well, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. So yeah, we've got about 7 of us going up, and 3 of them it's their first half marathon.
That's so good, isn't it? And as I say, they will come on to it, but I think that's one of the big benefits of being part of something like this. I think you see people, like we say, everyday runners who are doing all these crazy things. Like I openly say, I'm inspired by Hayden and his antics doing, the majors and things like that. It's like, right, okay, kick up the bum time. And you see your peers doing it, and you can't help but be inspired to sign up for something or go along to your first park run or whatever it is. Is that FOMO? Wilco, I'm conscious because we've got these like millions of people watching, and we've not acknowledged them. So
Al, can we just rattle for a few comments? Al, we've got a few people saying a few bits.
Yeah, we've got a few comments. A couple of people have come back about some of the majors and possibly meeting up with us later on in the year. So Gavin, I'll see you in Coral 5 in Chicago. 5, F even. Can't read my own writing. So he's taking part in Chicago. Ian Payton's looking forward to the shakeout run in Berlin. I've got a comment from Mark that we might save for when we talk to Lloyd and Tony, because he's referenced to them as Bonnie and Clyde, but I want to know which one's which. Let's go down the gender lines and assume.
Good shout.
Tony. So we'll ask them if they can explain that one a little bit. I'm not sure we can answer your footwear question. That's normally reserved for a Monday night, but give Chris time to think about, is it Endorphin Pro or an Adios Pro 3 instead of his vapor pliers? Come back on Monday. More importantly, Adam wants to know, are you still keeping up the beetroot shots? So that must have been on last week, was it?
No, the beetroot shots
about beets.
Yeah, the beetroot shot follows on from I did that. I didn't tell anyone I was taking them before London, and then I did the whole routine of taking them and stuff like that, and I put that video out. And I'm not taking them like in general. as a supplement or anything like that. I'm not adding in beetroot to my diet. That said, I will go through exactly the same process for Berlin, even though Berlin is not a push effort for me. It's just a long run. But I'll go through that process again of doing the beetroot shots, purely practicing for New York when that comes through, because New York I will definitely do it. But I'll do two sort of sessions or whatever you call it of drinking the beetroot when I should be drinking it. So I will be doing that again. Whether it worked, I don't know. Whether that was down to my training, whether it was down to just the marathon gods of the day, whatever. But I don't plan on changing anything other than my footwear. Going on to that question about, I'd pick the Adios Pro 3 out of those two, by the way. But apart from changing the footwear and stuff like that, I won't be changing anything else for those races. So I will do exactly the same routine.
It seems mad, doesn't it? That we've been doing this show for more than 2 years now, and because people are going back, because if you go on Spotify or wherever, you can go back and listen to hours upon hours of our guff.
Well, we're
and people are dipping into different things, and sometimes they ask questions. You think, God, we was doing that about like a year ago, and then all this stuff just comes back all the time, doesn't it? It's mad.
Yeah, I think this whether it's this one or it might have been Bite Size on Monday. I don't really keep track of it, but all I know is because I have to enter it for the Apple thing we put out. Is one of these is the 150th episode? Just an example, 150 episodes. Think about it. That's why we're award-winning, people, because we're consistent. We're consistently bad.
Well, there's a stat out there, Chris. There's something like, I don't know the exact figures, but it's something like 15 million podcasts out in the interweb, and something like half of them only ever get to one episode. So it doesn't really matter what the numbers are. It's just a reference to the dropout rate. So to get to 150 just shows kind of what we've done and what we've achieved, which big podcasts don't.
No, honestly,
hats off to everyone that's listened and made that possible.
It's incredible. Yeah.
We don't think we've covered the same ground too much all the time. We don't go too far.
I think we've done well. We've sort of steered away from covering the same topics as well, which is you can't help but cover some of them inadvertently. Like how small Hayden is and the lack of running that Toby does, as an example, right? You can't help but go over those things and highlight them. But in general, I think we've done pretty well to come up with 150 topics. We've basically pulled them out of our rear end, I would say, Wilco, don't you?
Pretty much. Yeah. Usually sort of like 5 to 7 on a Friday night.
Yeah, that tends to happen. 3 minutes to 5 minutes beforehand. What are we talking about?
Before we move on, just a couple of announcements. You were talking about Ben and his half marathon. Gemma Williams, it was her birthday today. She smashed out a half marathon to celebrate. And she said it would make her weekend if she had a shout out on the long run. So happy birthday, Gemma. And it is a massive, massive 41st this weekend.
Yes. Yes, it is. Is it? Because we had the other one.
We had a wedding.
Have we had a wedding?
Yeah, in Surrey. We've already had one.
Well, we've got another one. This is bigger than it.
Well research, Wilco.
Well, you can't allow me to do everything.
Dig you out of the hole. It's the first of one of the OGs to get married. If that helps.
Yes, I would say, and I've got a note here to talk about it because it is an important thing for me to discuss. If that's okay, if you could just indulge me for like the next minute. I'm gonna give a shout out to James Dunn, by the way, YouTube heavyweight, watching live. If you've not listened or watched the show we did with him about strength and conditioning, you need to watch that. And I would thoroughly recommend. He does a bulletproof runners program. You can get a discount. Check out the videos, all on there. There's a discount code and everything on it. Some of my runners that I work with, I've taken up the bulletproof running program, and they are absolutely loving it. So check out on the video that I've got. There's a description on there, and there's a discount code. So we've got the heavyweights in tonight. Anyway, yes. So in terms of the wedding, is the second one, but technically this kind of was announced before the other one. I think anyway. But yes, I've got to give a shout out to young William and Charlotte, who are getting married tomorrow. It's now the FORDY Run's wedding, because from what I understand, it's basically it's loads of us going. But they're just an amazing couple. Billy is I just love the boy. as you said, Al, rightly so, one of the OGs of everything. He's an incredible person, and he met Charlotte. They met at the Great North Run. I remember it. I was there. We was at a what was it? What's that pub, Al? Was it Weatherspoons or Slug and Lettuce down on the quayside?
Slug and Lettuce.
Yeah, it was down there.
Where the pubs are.
Yeah, they met down there, and didn't look back basically. And it's incredible to see that journey, and it's still I don't know about getting too cheesy, but it still not warms my heart. I don't know the right way to say it, but you know, to see that these things come together through what I started over 5 years ago in Greenwich, and to bringing people together who are now getting married and have created a life together. It's incredible. Never expected anything like that. But they are just two lovely people, and I couldn't be happier. And I'm really looking forward to going tomorrow. But if anybody needs me, I'll be on the dance floor. All right. Okay. Just if anybody wants me. But there we go. So move on now.
Yeah, well, we couldn't let it go without a big shout out to Billy and Charlotte. So all the very best tomorrow. And yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to have a great time. There might be the odd picture knocking about on Facebook over the weekend. So
not with me in it. Cost you £10.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that in now? £10 a selfie?
I might put it up actually for it because there might be a few. So I might put it up. And actually, I could take, even though it's not been signed off, I could take the book. So I could sign them as well, couldn't I?
How much are you charging for a signed book?
10 grand. Seems reasonable, doesn't it? I got criticised. I'm not going to get shot about this. Don't tell admin. She won't be listening. I got criticised the other day by a brand. They wanted to do to sponsor something. I won't exactly say what it was. I went back because I couldn't be bothered to make the video. So I went back with them with a price that they absolutely hammered me and said, "Oh," and went really off on one. This PR, it's quite amusing that, but it's too high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's the point? If I can't be bothered to do it, then you got to pay up, mate, to make it worth my while. So I've got to schlep all these books down to Kent. You've got to make it worth my while. See what I mean?
Ian Payton's saying that there should be a shakeout before the wedding tomorrow.
I'll make him right on that. So what we do, I'll message William now. I think a cheeky 26 miles beforehand.
Getting back in the game.
Yeah, back in the game. Get the boy back in the game. Come on, let's. This is a good question here. I'll leave that to Al. Right, Wilco, I'll leave it to you because I've just got to fix the computer quickly.
Oh, have you? Okay. Well, we'll have a chat to Tony and Lloyd just briefly while Chris does a bit of technical support. Now, the big story is great news that we've got Al on here as well with you because
it's all his fault.
Al played a central role in the origins of your FORDY journey, didn't he?
Can I plead the fifth? Is it the Fifth Amendment? Can I plead?
Well, why don't we let Tony and Lloyd tell the story, Al, and then you can interject if there's any falsehoods or
I'll correct it with the factuals if they go a bit off piece. Yeah, they elaborate.
Al wasn't actually the first FORDY we met. So me and Lloyd decided to go and have a romantic weekend, Valentine's weekend. What else can we do but go and do Valentine's Park Run? So booked a hotel in London, turned up at Valentine's Park Run, and there was no one there. We was like, is it on? Is it not? And we saw Chloe. It was actually Chloe, the first FORDY that I spoke to. And she was like, is it on? I don't know, there's no volunteers here yet. And so we thought it had been cancelled. But no, all the volunteers just turned up late, and we got chatting to Al whilst we were waiting. And we were just chatting about some of the crazy running antics it got up to. And he invited us along to Dublin.
I never thought they'd actually turn up. It's just got to be careful what you wish for, isn't it? I'll invite them anyway.
Being polite.
Within a week, we booked our flights, I think. And that's it. The rest is history.
So we went to Dublin with a load of complete strangers.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
We was at the airport and we was like, oh, them people over there have got 40 t-shirts on. They must be with our group.
We'll go and talk to them.
So we went and just invited ourselves onto their table for breakfast to join us for breakfast.
Good for you, mate.
And that was
it. The rest is history.
Yeah.
As they say.
So you got so it was the chance meeting at Valentine's Park that sort of like opened your eyes. What did sort of like what happened in Dublin that sort of like attracted you to?
What goes on tour stays on tour.
We've got to talk about it.
Corey Fraser. What was it about the trip and the mood and everything that sort of like captured your imagination while you were out there? When you
It was just that. What a great group of people, weren't it? It was really, really great. So, as I say, we were complete strangers. Never met them in my life.
In fact, we've got our previous running club T-shirts on, and we still weren't made to feel excluded, even though we weren't officially part of the FORDY group at the time. We were still 100% welcomed. So
yeah, we just felt really welcomed, joined in, really accepted them. You know, went for breakfast, went for dinner. It was great, fantastic, wasn't it? It was just the full inclusivity of the club.
Shared a complete double-decker bus with the whole of the FORDY gang. In fact, that's where we met Hayden for the first time as well.
Yeah.
So sorry, Wilco. Sorry, quick. Was Hayden asleep on the bus?
Not at that point.
No.
He's got form. He does that a lot. He does. I'm not making it up. I've got endless pictures that I can use for years ahead now of him.
He does run around a lot, doesn't he? You know.
He does sleep a lot.
He ran to Parkrun actually.
Yeah, we got the bus to Parkrun. He ran.
Was he in his skinny jeans?
So Tony, I mean,
yes, white trainers.
Sorry, Wilco.
That's all right, mate. So Tony, you said that you were in a running club together. What was the sort of like main difference between the running club you were in before and like the involvement with the FORDYs?
I just think once we joined the FORDY's Facebook page, there just seemed to be a lot more going on socially, collaboratively from other areas of the country as well. We do quite a lot of races that aren't local. So just the whole idea of meeting up with other people that aren't necessarily local was really good. I think we went to a few events and started seeing the FORDY T-shirts then because we knew about FORDYs by then. So yeah. And then obviously we saw you guys looking for people to start satellites, and we was like, do you know what? We could kind of make this our own a little bit. So we took the plunge.
Yeah, it's
not looked back since.
It's been amazing, and funnily enough, I put a post out in the Facebook group today about new local running groups, run crews that we want to start. I think, and you know, it's been incredible the rise and the take up of the we call them running crews, running communities. Hayden and I, when we talk about, I know they've got the label of satellites, but we like to think of them as sort of mini communities within the community, if that makes any sense. And I think it's so powerful how people like yourself, you know, just to put yourself out there to start these things up, to put your time into helping other runners and bringing other like-minded people together. Ours the same, you know, bringing people together on a weekly basis, which can be that, you know, that lifeline for certain people. And I think if you're in a situation where maybe you're in a running club and maybe it doesn't suit your needs or that time doesn't work or whatever, then maybe now's the time to jump on board this bus that we've created and, you know, get the support that we can provide you, and which will increase over the next period of time. I've got away with that, Wilco. But I think now is really, honestly, if you're thinking about it, do it, because if you look at what Tony and Lloyd do, what our does, and all the other satellite leaders or run crews or communities or running groups, whatever you want to call them, that we have within 40 runs, 30 of them plus, now's the time to do it. It really is. This is unbelievable what we're doing here.
Another thing for me as well, I've done quite a few couch to 5Ks and did a course just before Christmas. So that course was finishing just as we were starting our satellite club. So obviously some of those come on the journey with me. And I think 4 of them are the guys that I mentioned are doing their first half marathon in Manchester. And it's just amazing seeing them from going to complete non-runners, and it'll be less than a year, and they've done well.
It's amazing.
Fingers crossed they have completed their first half marathon. So.
And Hell's Bells has got that in Southend, where her, Nettie, and Kimmy have done the same sort of thing. They've taken runners, you know, all the way through, you know, up to those sort of distance and that sort of stuff. It is amazing to see, and I think that's the key is don't be afraid. If you've lost your mojo, maybe you're training for something, or you're just getting into running and that sort of stuff. Don't be afraid to look up your local run group. I appreciate that some of them are daunting and some of them are traditional, and they work in a framework. That's great, yeah. But there are other groups out there. There's plenty of other running groups out there that are like-minded, and that lot. We're not everywhere in the country. We can't be, because we need heroes like these couple of guys looking in front of me, and obviously people like Al. But I would really recommend it. It's more, I think, more from the social connection point of view. I think that's the key. When you say Wilco, I mean, Wilco, you're great.
I'll speak from my own sort of example, really. That I joined the Facebook group when I got a place in the Great North Run a few years ago, pre-COVID, and found the group, the Great North Run group, because I'd never been to Newcastle. I thought, this is great. I'll find out about transport, things like that. And went to the race, and it was fine, but it was perhaps a little bit overbearing. There were a lot of people there, and it wasn't. Didn't feel included as much as I did. But when the satellite group launched, and I started going locally to where I live, and there were 12, 15 people regular going every week. That's when the community really took it to another level. Joining the Facebook group was great, and all the chat and things like that. But the actual physical contact of meeting people, and then obviously when you've met people and you're in a group of sort of like, we all started doing the same sort of half marathons and things like that, and you bump into different groups, and then you soon get to know people. And then doing this, I've got to know so many people, through it's raised a profile for me personally, so I get to that. Everything snowballs, and then suddenly I know so many people through running, and that is as people join running groups for different reasons. People do, there are people who want to improve their performance, and but people who want to have expert advice on sort of like what kit they should have, things like that. And then there are people like me who love the social aspect of it, and that's the main central thing. And the satellite groups have a profound effect on that sort of thing. Particularly now, there's so many of them, and people are starting hopping about and sort of like, well, I'll go down to Surrey. I went down to Surrey and went out with Hayden a few weeks ago, just of an evening, sort of like the day off. I'll come down and see you. I just went running around the park.
Wilco, was he wearing jeans?
No, he was looking very athletic, mate.
Very athletic. I've got a question though, because I'm going to turn the tables a bit. In terms of, so Al, I'll come to you first. In terms of being that run leader, obviously your coach, but run leader, let's say, of a satellite group.
Yeah.
How's that experience been for you, bringing people together? And what would you say to somebody who is thinking about it, but not yet thought, maybe no one will turn up? Have you got any sort of advice, or what's it been, the experience been like for you?
Yeah, I think if anyone's thinking about it, I would totally get perhaps some of their anxiety about taking on the responsibility, because we do ask people to come forward and commit time consistently, and I think for anyone joining the group, that's probably what they're looking forward to, knowing at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday or 6:30 on a Thursday there's going to be someone there for them. So don't jump in unless you can make their commitment. But I think once you can get over that hurdle, you'll get the benefits as well. So sometimes as a run leader, you do have to sacrifice your run to make sure everyone is included. And that can be difficult at times. But actually, the payback you get from seeing those friendships gel, from seeing things happen organically. So another example, Julie here down in Ipswich, had a conversation with us saying, what about a Monday morning? Do you reckon there's any mileage in it? It's absolutely smashing it, because there is an untapped market for people that can't run at 6 o'clock on a weekday. So it's really interesting to see as a run leader how you can make things happen without necessarily having a plan. So don't think, just because you haven't got your coaching badges, you're not going to be able to offer something to runners locally, because I think that's completely false. And as Wilco's already said, things will just happen that you don't plan. Things like satellite tourism. Who knew people would start planning on a Monday how far they're going to drive around the M25 to go for a 5K? But that's part of the tribe mentality, and I think that's kind of we're all hardwired in our DNA to be part of a tribe, and sometimes it takes us a bit longer to find what that tribe is. But I think, you know, in the running community generally, but definitely in FORDYs, you kind of know that you're going to have a good time first and foremost, I think, because people go about it and come about it for the right reasons and are in it for the right values. And if you can PB, that's a bonus for most of us at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Actually, it's a brilliant insight. I'll come on to you two in a second. There's 2 points. Firstly, I think Al made a good point about you don't to start with. You know, in terms of the framework, to get a social group come through the appropriate channels, and we can get you up and running. There is a runway or a pathway in which we will provide you with that qualification. We will support you through that. So don't be put off thinking, because we can help you with that. Okay, so if you're now listening to this and thinking, oh yeah, I know a few people used to play football. This is a brilliant example. Used to play football. We're all too old now, so we just go down the pub. But actually, you know, we kind of like a bit of running. Get them together, start the process, and we can help you with that. We can guide you through that. But also, there's a point down from Barbara. She's saying she's a solo runner. Now, one of the amazing things about 40 runs is there's no barrier to entry, right? And there's other clubs out there, right? So we're not just talking about 40 runs tonight, but there's no barrier to entry for us. Cost or where your location is and that. And one of the other things that we do run is the Global Run Club. So on a Monday and a Wednesday every week at 7 o'clock, there is a virtual run that goes out. Now, I know virtual runs have got a bad name because of, you know, pandemic and all that, a bit of hang up for that. But virtually, we are seeing literally hundreds of people going out all over the country. And you can rely on that, the fact that you're going to be going out with other people from within the club and the community, and you can get involved in that as well. That's another thing that we offer. So we can't be everywhere in the country or all over the world. I'd love to see satellite groups or run crews or whatever you call them popping up all over the place. But if you can't, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can join us on a Monday and Wednesday and be part of that community as well, which I think is really, really important.
Just to pick up on that point, that Global Run Club is one of the most active Facebook Messenger groups I think we've got. And it's not been running particularly a long time, probably 3 or 4 months, but people through that digital connection are now making actual friendships because people are making the effort. They've felt comfortable, they've felt safe, they've been able to engage in a conversation after their run on a Wednesday, even if they've run in different weathers, different distances, different places. There's a safe space for them to go and be part of a conversation. And that's now leading to people making the effort to travel around the country to actually meet in person. Sounds a bit like a dating club, but, you know.
No, but it's true.
To Billy's wedding.
Yeah, but it's true that, Al, you're making a brilliant point, you know, so don't just because, like Barbara says, oh, I'm a solo runner, there's nothing near me. No, get up part of the Global Run Crew. Honestly, it's that combined with all the other stuff, you know. Again, my big thing is no barrier to entry. Okay, that's why, you know, you don't have to wear a club top. We don't care. You know, you don't have to come along to a certain amount of races. You don't have to be at the, I don't know, on the committee for 5 days or 6,000 years to be considered for the London Marathon ballot or whatever stupid rules that these clubs put in to stop people getting involved in stuff. We don't put any barriers to entry. The cost of being an affiliate member, if you want to be, is 16 quid. That all goes, or 17 quid, that all goes to England Athletics, right? So you can be a part of this club for free. You can be part of, like Al says, I think it's brilliant, part of this tribe or cult, Al, cult,
cult,
cult, for free. You don't have to. It doesn't cost you. Doesn't have to cost you anything, which I think is pretty unheard of. But you'll get all that support, and you can rock up to Staffordshire and see the wonderful Tony and Lloyd, or you can jump on and do, you know, the Global Run Crew. It's entirely up to you. There's literally no barrier to entry. So let's flip that round. As guys and girls who have done, you know, your badges, and obviously you're moving through that process. In terms of how have you found running a club? I mean, again, you know, sort of similar sort of questioning to what I did to Al.
So, well, I was already qualified anyway, because I've been doing the Couch to 5Ks. But I know you've got your qualification since we started satellite.
Yeah, so I've done my LERF since, and we're both now doing coaching course. And tomorrow we've actually got our assessment
Final
day.
Assessment tomorrow.
Let me know.
So after tomorrow we'll be coaches as well.
But I think the coach course has been really useful for us to help support our runners just on that next level, really.
Exactly.
We've seen some real improvements since we've kind of introduced sprint sessions and things like that. We've had feedback from probably about 3 or 4 of our guys to say that they've done 10K events and their times have improved and they're getting PBs. So it's really good to see that. And I know speed's not important to everyone, but we've had people improve their distance as well. So
it's rewarding, isn't it? It's very rewarding.
Really good. I mean, to start off the running club, we got some basic knowledge around sort of how to run a club because we were both sort of committee members before, so we had a basic understanding. But to actually sort of have your own ability to run a club is great because it's the planning, isn't it? So for me, I really enjoy like researching and planning and looking for new and innovative ways and making it interesting and I think our gang, they really enjoy it because
they love it, don't they?
We try to make it different each week. We try to introduce new things that they've never done before, and running is fun. It's not always it needs to be difficult in some respects to get those benefits, but it doesn't mean it has to be boring, and it isn't just about going out for a run and coming back.
I think the benefit that we've seen with our Tuesday night, which is our official meet night, we don't actually leave the park where we meet. So we're fully inclusive. Doesn't matter what pace you are. You could be, 3-hour marathoner or whatever. It doesn't matter what pace you are. We can see everyone, and everyone's still getting a really good session.
Yeah, and that's the ethos of the club.
Off on a 5-mile run and then coming back, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the ethos of it all. Again, we do the same. Doesn't matter what your ability is, whether you just come in or walk it, you can still do the session. It's tailored, whether it's fun or whatever we're doing that night or day, and it doesn't matter where it is in the country, whatever's doing it, the ethos is the same. It's fully inclusive.
Because obviously the satellite meetings were at different places. There are different sort of grades, isn't there? So like some are social runs and some are like the sessions we do with you and Sabrina on a Tuesday.
They're coached.
They're coached. Yeah. So that's another way in which the satellite systems helped me. Like when I've been doing training for marathons and things like that, and trying to follow a sort of like an 80-20 program. If I'm doing 5 runs a week, I know on a Tuesday that if I'm going out with him, we're going to be doing a easy out, hard back, or we'll do a sprint session, or we'll do hills and something like that. So I know that that's going to be my 20%, and I can fit my rest of my program around what I'm going to be doing. Either 80 most of the time on a Tuesday, or perhaps in Broxbourne on a Wednesday, depending on how my calendar works during the week. So that helps as well. What I like about them is it's like you say, they're just all encompassing. You can get out of it as much as you want to put in, and in whatever direction you want to put it in, whether you want to concentrate on the social sort of stuff or improving your performance and things like that, or a bit of everything, like myself.
I mean, we have got a really good social side to our group, but because we've got quite a few guys that come, and it's not just me and Lloyd advising people. We've got people in our group that have done quite a few marathons, people that are just starting out on their running journey. So our WhatsApp group's going constantly. Trainer, have you seen this race? I'm planning on doing this run this week for my training. Does anyone want to join me? It's just a real support network for anyone who's trying to get to that next level.
Yeah, and also from every sort of, as in most social groups, you've got people with different sort of mentalities, and people who, you've got warriors, you've got people who are very laid back, and you've got and everybody seems forthcoming and friendly enough that they can talk to each other, and sort of like if people are having a bad time, have you thought about doing this? It's not just sort of like the "you okay, hun" sort of thing. It's you can people feel that they can offer.
We're quite lucky, aren't we, Wilco? We've sort of weeded out across the country all the, I can't use the word, but it's that bit on the backside of, all those. Then there's like, we've got quite, we're quite repellent of those. Al, before we go on to the award-winning lightning round that we did, that I've come up with, anything in the comments?
Yeah, we've had quite a discussion going on amongst some of our viewers and listeners about the merits of joining clubs. Other running clubs are available apparently.
Correct.
But Chuck, Ian, and Barbara have commented. Mark's thinking about it. He's been in a running club, but he's just renewing for the sake of it. So I'd say, come and join us. Do something different. You know, you won't regret it. Got a couple of other questions. You want to take questions?
Yeah, let's do it. And then we'll
Let's
lightning.
do some questions. Well, first of all, quick shout out to Jonathan Winter. Yeah, he's going to be at Chicago. Is there going to be a shakeout run? I don't know about FORDY's one, but quite a few of us have already signed up to do the big bobble hat race.
Yes.
It's expensive. Don't mention to Kieran that it's $48 for a 5K, but that hat is quite elusive. So
I'm going to get one.
Of us at the shakeout run.
I'm getting one now.
Yeah, good.
I got a bobble out in Dublin for nothing.
And Mike asked a question before that we'd skipped about K-tape. So is it useful? Does any of us use it regularly? What are the benefits?
I'll quickly do that and then we'll move on. The only reason is it's Monica, who we've had on here, the osteo, she swears by it, right?
Lloyd did his K-tape course last week.
Yeah, and Lloyd, I'll be interested here in quickly about it because Monica swears by it, and if you go and see her, you'll come out like a mummy, basically. You'll stuck needles in you, and you'll come out by a mum. But in fairness to her, in about a day, you feel like a hero. So what about you, Lloyd? What do you reckon?
I've never used it. I did the course out of interest, but it's not something I've never used, to be fair. All my daughters just sent a message.
Shall we read that one out? Big shout out to
No.
I might cry.
You might cry. There you go.
It's true. It's true. You should be proud, both of you two and Al.
Big shout out to my dad and Tony. So proud of all the effort and support you have put into the club to inspire other people.
You should be proud of you. I keep saying it. You like moan at me or whatever about or how things just get told off for putting stuff in there, but all of you satellite leaders, you know, you should give yourself a pat on the back. You are genuinely changing people's lives. I'm not making this stuff up. I get the messages from people on Instagram or emails into my inbox about the life-changing, you know, situations that we put people in and the fact of whether it's just listening to this podcast. It's lovely to hear people, you know, we've got people through their marathon training and all this sort of stuff. But the job you're doing on a local level, connecting these people up who may have no contact with any other human being that week, you are honestly changing lives. So you should all give yourself a pat on the back and be proud of what you're doing. It's genuinely inspiring stuff. Right. I'm just looking for, because we're going to dust it off, Wilco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Is this going to be a one-off, or do you think we might bring it back?
Well, I feel sorry for Al because I kind of sprung it on Al. He came on just to come. I went, Al, should we do lightning round? And we went, well, not really, because I'm not really prepped for it because he's professional and like me, who's just going to wing the next 2 to 3 minutes. So stand by, people. You've been warned.
Yeah, we'll give it all.
Right, I'm going to do my best impression of Al. He said something about you know the answers or something before you say them or something. Hang on. I can actually get him back in. Hang on. Al, what is it I'm meant to say?
Yeah, don't worry. You will know the answers to these questions. I guarantee it.
Thanks, Al. I'll put you back in the green room. I'll cut up in a sec.
Okay.
Right, don't look nervous because it's fine. Because this is the only issue we're going to have really is whether I can read my own handwriting. And I have the handwriting of a 3-year-old. Okay. So if you don't know what the lightning round is, this is a quick fire round. They've got to answer very quickly. If they take too long, I'm going to put pictures of Hayden up. Okay, both you need to answer. We're going to start off gentle. Favourite distance?
Half marathon.
Half marathon.
Half marathon. Gels or proper food on a long run?
Gels.
Which brand?
Morton.
Oh, money bags. Favourite race? Favourite race?
Stole the fly, man.
Favourite race? London Marathon for me.
I've only done it once. Don't know. Manchester.
Manchester. What, half or marathon?
Marathon.
Red or brown sauce on your bacon.
Well, we don't eat bacon.
Neither of us eat bacon.
Pretend bacon.
Yeah, pretend bacon.
Brown.
Red.
Brown.
I was gonna say vegan sausage, but I thought I don't know. Anyway, favorite running shoes.
Saucony.
Alpha 5s.
So you're Nike, you're Saucony, okay. Oh, hang on. Oh, this is a good one. Front of the plane or back of the plane?
Back.
Yeah.
When it's more turbulence, that's why I bring it up. Stewardess told me the other day, my anxiety is even higher than it was. Ready for this one? I'm taking you on holiday. Ibiza or Barbados?
Ibiza.
Barbados.
Al, now you wanted to rescue me. This is one of ours. Your one-track playlist.
Prodigy.
Which
I've
one?
got a clue.
Don't know. Five-starter.
Tony.
I'm going to go Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams. And you ready? This is the last one to see it out. We all go to Vegas. Hayden's taken us on his private jet. You walk into the Venetian. You've got £1 million. Do you put it on red or black?
Red.
Red.
Oh,
Well, that's going to be a cracking visit to the airport when Tony's off to Ibiza and Lloyd's going to Barbados, isn't it?
I wasn't aware that there was any races in Barbados. And
there is. It's a marathon. There's a marathon in Barbados.
Oh, there you go.
See, I didn't know that.
Why aren't we going?
Yeah, I don't. They were at the National Running Show this year, and a really nice man was working on the store, and he looked amazing, but bleeding expensive.
Yeah.
So out of 10, how did I do?
Oh, I've got to give it a 7. 7.
7.
Yeah, commendable, mate. Pretty good. I think we should bring it back.
I just brought up in our group about the Bonnie and Clyde. I still don't know that one.
We haven't got a clue what Mark's on about, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll leave that for you. You can sort that out on your next club session.
Right.
You can figure that one out.
Have we had any sort of messages in the meantime while we've been...
Yeah, we seem to be hooking Barbara up in the Glasgow and Renfrewshire area. There's some,
we'd love Scotland, yeah. Let's have a Scottish
chat going on about potential meetups. So there you go. We're being active as we speak.
I'm actually up in Scotland next month of work, so not far from Glasgow. So I could maybe try and organise a bit of a...
There you go. Someone just made a commitment to start it. Travelling tourist.
This is a good comment. Have you seen this from Paul?
I was just about to read it, yeah. But you go for it.
Yeah, you guys might not even... This is Paul Pitcher, by the way. You guys, evening, Paul. You guys may not even realise how deep you run in other local established clubs. We run with a local athletics club in Lowestoft, which has many FORDYs who still feel part of the community. So that's an example of them people, runners, belonging to a traditional running club, athletics club, which is great. You know, I'm glad that they're there. But they're part of our community, and they're wider part of the community, and they feel very much a part of that, as well as being part of the running club. Again, I go back to what I was saying. I think that highlights it perfectly. No barrier to entry. You can be part of this community, this club, this madness that is now FORDY runs, this cult, Wilco, that is taking over the world.
What it shows is that if you are members of a local athletics club in Lowestoft and you meet on a Thursday, why not meet under a FORDY banner on a Tuesday and go out? You can do the same.
We have members that do that. We have people that are in other clubs that come to us on a Tuesday and go to somewhere else on a Thursday.
Social, yeah.
And we always say, why can't we run together? You know, we've collaborated with other clubs. We're going to do some other stuff with other clubs as well. So it's about having a collaboration.
Yeah, we collaborated with another local club who does 1 5K a week, but they've also got a walking group.
Brilliant.
So we in fact, quite a few of the guys that come to our club are from that group, and then we go on a walk with them on another night.
Our track session is a collaboration with a triathlon club, so we share a track.
And more clubs need to be like that. That's the thing, right? And this is I think, well, hopefully we've sort of inspired whoever's listening to this or watching this. You know, you don't need to be put off by this, and it's great that there's some that aren't. I'm not going to name names because I could give you a list of about 20. But there are people out there, there are clubs out there, they're like, you know, what Paul was talking about, where they do open up their arms. And if you, like you said, Wilco, it's brilliant. Maybe you go to your track session because that's your kind of thing on a Thursday, but you fancy just doing a social run with a couple of guys and girls, and maybe there's some other people that may be interested, that may be like, a bit intimidated by the track whole thing and being told to go and run with the kids. Bring them together on a Tuesday. Like Julie does it like 9 o'clock on you know, for coffee, you know.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Lloyd and Tony, because obviously you've had the background of being in athletics clubs before. Have you found that they are a little less snotty now since the sort of like the parkrun revolution? Like, it's more people have got involved, or do you think they've sort of like tightened up a bit and tried to preserve what they had before?
I think some clubs are a bit stuck in the past. You know, they don't move with the times, and I think now you've got to become more of this community atmosphere, isn't it? It's about being there for other people, and not just about the running, isn't it? So yeah, I do think some are still a bit stuck in their ways, and potentially they're the clubs that won't be around in a few years to come. But certainly, you know, 40 runs and, you know, community based running clubs are here for the future, aren't they? Because you know what people want. It isn't just about running. It is not just about running, is it?
No, it's not. We could give a toss about the running, really.
it's about everything else, isn't it? It's about
on a hovercraft to the Isle of Wight. They're not going there for a run.
No, it's a spot.
I know we've talked tonight about different clubs and different virtual clubs are available and sort of thing. They don't do nutty stuff like this.
No,
they don't go off and
No, I'm not going to name names because that's disrespectful. But
yeah,
I don't genuinely know, and that's not just me trying to push the brand before everyone jumps in on me 2-footed. My Instagram lights up, but I'm not aware of a running club. Don't forget, you know, we are across the country that has local running communities built within the community that offers the framework in which we do and operate. That also goes and does mad, you know, the word I'm thinking of, like Al organises with Carolyn and all this other crazy stuff that they do, and all these nutters turn up and just take over stuff. And like Al does, go flying around the world to do part run with anybody who go with him and Carolyn. I think it's brilliant, and I don't know any other. I might be living like a blinkered life or whatever you call it, but I don't know anyone else who does it.
I can't see anybody like that who's out there doing that sort of thing.
I don't. Or have an award-winning podcast, Wilco.
Well, you know,
there is that, isn't
and
it?
soon to be best-selling books.
Yes, that is true. Well, trilogy of books.
Oh God, it's the biggest trilogy since Lord of the Rings, mate.
Yeah, somebody refers to me as Tolkien, or was it?
or the Hobbit.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, try to keep them brief, though, mate. Try not to make them as long as his books.
They will be. Remember, I can't read all right, so
I will have to have a chat. You might need some help.
Go through it. Right, we better wrap this up, Wilco. Games to go to.
Yeah, I've lost my sheet with all my wrap-up stuff. Never mind. So I'll have to blag it.
No, let Al do it, because I did the lightning. So Al, you do the wrap-up. Go.
Oh God! Right. Well, I hope you've all enjoyed that, everyone. Wilco, what are you doing this weekend apart from not going to the wedding?
I'm not going to the wedding. No, I'm working. I'm keeping the. I'm going to Southend to get in front of the ice cream queue because the whole town's going to Billy's wedding, and there'll be no one there. So I'll be doing that. So this weekend, what am I up to? I'm going out for a little social run on Sunday. It'd be nice with a couple of folks from Hertford. We're trying to get up a Sunday morning, sort of like get out and go out for a bit of a trot. So we're going to go out for 9 miles or so. Not a bit early for me, but you know, people like to get on with it. I'd rather stay in bed till midday, but then that's just the way.
Yeah. Tony and Lloyd, got anything interesting planned?
Assessment day tomorrow.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, apart from that, that's in the back, isn't it?
And Sunday we're doing a 12-mile trail run.
Right, going anywhere nice in the woods?
Hammock Chase.
And Chris, just leave me some space on the dance floor tomorrow night, please.
Yeah, I'm doing 20 miles early, now I'm going dancing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But do you stretches?
Nah, I'm just gonna honestly, I'm like a machine on the dance floor.
Oh yeah.
Get me off of it, especially when I start doing a bit two-stepping. I might even bring my Stetson.
Is he having a band or a disco?
I've got absolutely no idea. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what time it is, where it is, or what I've got to do. All I know is the boss told me tonight, have you got a suit? I went, maybe. I wonder if I could turn up in the tri-nooses or nooses. Where that go? Where that go down? But anyway, I'm in trouble. I can tell you that now because I haven't sorted anything out that I'm meant to be. And that's the other thing. Apparently, I've got to wear a tie. I've not worn a tie since I was in front of the judge. So what's that all about?
Oh, so you're going all day?
Oh yeah, I'm the main attraction.
You're on
Forget the
duty?
bride.
Oh dear. You get the
Right,
big picture together.
Wilco, forget ours taking us out.
Right, so I think that's it, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you want to listen to this again, we're available on all the podcast hosting platforms. But most of all, enjoy your running this weekend, and we'll see you this time next week.
See you later, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.